followed by an invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank Thee for the opportunity to come before You tonight. And on behalf of the residents of Symmes Township, we ask that You lead us and guide us to make the right and appropriate decisions on behalf of our residents. And we ask You to God bless America. Amen.
Amen.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Bryant.
Here.
Mr. Beck.
Here.
Miss Leese.
I move approval of the agenda.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Beck.
Aye.
Miss Leese.
Aye.
Mr. Bryant.
Aye. I move approval of the minutes, regular meeting minutes for July 6th, 2021, and special meeting minutes for July 20th, 2021.
Second.
Roll call.
Miss Leese.
Aye.
Mr. Bryant.
Aye.
Mr. Beck.
Aye.
Okay. We'll now hear the fiscal officer's report for July.
The account balance for the HRA account stands at $27,871.14. The major working account is a balance of $4,600,181.76, and our meter investment account has a balance of $8,121,130.34. I think you all have copies in the stuff that was sent to you on fund status, but the major funds I'll give you. The general fund stands at $2,552,813.17. The police fund at $722,880.16. The fire fund at $508,621.30. The road fund at $941,165.13, and the safety services fund at $1,860,295.84. We have applied for the new funding, the American Rescue Fund, so that's in place. That was required prior to September 4th. Otherwise, they wouldn't give you the money. Trustee Beck and I attended the TIF meeting this past month, and everything was up to snuff. There was nothing I remember that was out of whack.
No, that's the annual CRA review.
Yeah. Did anybody fall off the term?
Yes, Grand Sands.
Okay.
Yes.
That was what I thought.
Yeah, they were at 10 years.
That was all I have.
Okay, thank you, Joe. Under presentations, we have none. Under public hearings, we have none. I move approval of disbursements. Warrants number 79,752 through 79,856, and vouchers 183 through 204, in the aggregate amount of $312,634.90.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Bryant.
Aye.
Mr. Beck.
Aye.
Miss Leese.
Aye.
Just for the record, when these warrants and vouchers come before us for approval of disbursements, each of the trustees has already gone through them and signed them. So when we talk about $312,634.90 being expended, we are watching each of those expenditures. Any reports from the law director?
No report tonight.
Okay. Lieutenant?
The only thing I just have for the residents is we are seeing and we're monitoring an increase in thefts of vehicles and thefts from vehicles throughout the county and in Symmes Township, and an alarming number of those involve vehicles that are unlocked. So please remember to lock your vehicles, and if you can't remove valuables, make sure that they are not visible.
Are they at homes, or are they at like parks, or where are they?
It's pretty scattered. We have an analyst looking at it right now. There don't seem to be any trends. It's everywhere.
Okay. So if we have them in parks, we have all the cameras on the parking lots, don't we?
Yeah, I don't know of any from parks
Okay.
Specifically, but it has been retail, residential, and
We've
parking.
seen on Nextdoor, we've seen a lot of people commenting that their automobile was stolen, like from the tennis club behind Harper's Kroger, and other places are showing up in Nextdoor, so we're seeing that.
Yeah, and it's just it's not in Symmes Township. It's countywide. It's statewide. It's a national trend. So
Okay.
we're watching it. We're looking for patterns, but the biggest thing right now is please lock your cars.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else?
No.
Captain?
Good evening. You have our written report from Chief Huber, and then I also have passed out flyers for our 9/11 memorial event that will be on September 11th at the Firefighters Memorial down in Loveland, and we would love for all of you to attend.
Okay. Nothing else? Director of Public Works not here. Anything, Kim, you want to add?
Just that we will start paving tomorrow. They're going to start grinding and milling Kemper Road and Kemper Woods, Meadow Bluff, and Petrilla. And the paving will follow in a couple days, maybe about a week. And then as soon as they're done with that, then they'll move to Calumet.
Okay. And all the residents are getting the letter that you sent us?
Yep.
Okay. Is there, well, with Kemper Road I can understand, because there's no real driveways. There are a few there with the three buildings that Lucky built, and then the chicken joint on the corner. But on these other neighborhoods, is there a plan as to how people are supposed to park their cars somewhere else, walk in, or any of that stuff going on?
No, the Heartland can get out on Snyder.
Okay.
Silver Spring House and the three buildings next door to that can get out on Snyder because their parking lots are all connected. So really the only neighborhood right there that can't get anywhere else is Mariners Cove. So
Okay.
we'll have to make arrangements with them
Okay.
when they do it.
Okay. Any committee reports? Hearing none. Any other comments? Hearing none. We'll now open the floor for hearing from residents. I'd like to keep this as short as possible, but we want to hear any new information anybody wanted to bring to our attention. We just ask that you come to the podium, identify yourself and your residence, and then speak about the topic.
My name is Chris Jones. I'm at 8924 Cypress Point Lane, which is across the street over here in Montgomery Trace. I've been before you before in a professional duty as I'm the program manager for Ohio PACE Financing, where we did PACE Financing on 5 seasons 3 or so years ago. But this is my first time as a resident in the 24 years that we've been in the township. So I've got a couple things, and I will be brief, but a couple things. So one, we adjoin the Golden Corral lot. So if you can, bird's eye view, literally on the back side of the building is where our lot is, and there's about 3 lots, actually. There's a corner lot that does corner at the end of Cypress Point that goes to Mason Road, and then my next door neighbor kind of to the northeast is pretty much the rest of the parking lot that adjoins. So there are 3 lots, but anyway, mine's right there in the middle. And so going back, really to the spring, as you all know, the Golden Corral kind of shut down at shortly after COVID, and basically left their dumpster in place. it ended up, getting, dumped, from all over. And so I really kind of got to a point, I'd say a couple months ago, where, in the 21 years where we've lived at the current location, never have had flies on our, backyard patio. Started noticing flies. So what's going on? Nothing else different. Went over, and so like a big wet couch was laid on the dumpster and all kinds of stuff. So anyway, long story short, they had left a dumpster. I know in communicating with Luann, I think some communication was sent to Golden Corral, because just like 2 weeks ago, they did actually remove the dumpster. At that time, they didn't remove all the trash laying on the ground. There were a couple of other smaller containers of trash. As of Saturday morning, there had been a new dumpster put in place. All of the trash that was formerly on the ground was kind of removed. But my kind of question here to this is, like, why do they need now a new dumpster if the property's vacant? And I know that it's just recently switched ownership as well. No idea what intents are going to be there. But again, whoever the property owner is has to obviously secure and maintain the property. So that's the first issue with Golden Corral. Second issue that just became a new one a week ago is that Friday night, just this past Friday night, my wife and I are sitting on the patio and literally hear people up on their roof, on the Golden Corral roof. And I'm like, that cannot be. So I walk over and lay eyes on what appeared to be teenagers up on the roof. And I actually at first kind of thought they'd got up there because around that dumpster area there's like some metal framing, and then they do have a low roof on that back side. I thought that's how they were getting up there. But then this happened again, and so we did call the sheriff on Friday night. I think they came out at some point. I don't know what the result of that call was. But then Saturday night, about 9:30, 10 o'clock, once it got dark, there were again people up on the roof that appeared really be the more kind of adults, literally up taking selfies, pictures at the very peak of the roof. So we called, sheriff again. And so I went around on Sunday during the daylight, walked around the back. And so there's an access ladder, because they do have HVAC units on the top kind of flat portion of the roof. And so that's how people are getting up onto the roof. And then the last one to end the Golden Corral is, so then last night we're sitting on the back patio, and what I thought I heard were more kind of kid voices. Sure enough, I get in the car to drive around, and there were literally kids, probably 8 to 10 years old, and on the roof, and so they climbed down. So I stayed in the parking lot there in my car and kind of watched them. So they came down, got on their bicycles, and then drove, kind of on the other side of Slim Chickens, kind of out of view. Mm-hmm. So not sure exactly what, can be done, since it's really an abandoned vacant property, but hopefully there's, something that can be done. And I know that there's a resolution for the nuisance on tonight, but it's just becoming, an issue, so.
Okay.
So that's the first thing. Yeah. And then the second one is we have next door neighbors who are tenants that have been in for several months, but during the once it got warm here in the spring and all the way through the summer, they don't keep their small dogs on leashes. And these dogs, at least the second dog, just, I'm going to say maybe they've had for about a month, but a very infant dog. But the second one runs off the property and is, bothering neighbors as they walk down the street. People feel, although it's not a large dog by any means, we still know that there's been several, people that have been out in the street that have been kind of, and I'm not going to say attacked, because the dog is one that kind of comes up and, but still, we have also been told by neighbors they don't even come down, our cul-de-sac anymore, walking or jogging or whatever. But I have personally seen at least half a dozen incidents where the dog has been out and, harassing, the neighbors. And so anyway, bottom line is, I don't know how to go about, enforcing the dogs, being on a leash.
Can you send a letter to the resident reminding them they have to be on a leash, Ken?
What's the section in the revised code that it's not a leash law, but it's like they have to be under control, correct?
You have failure to confine.
Right.
Yeah. the best would be to call us and have an officer come out.
Yeah, so so I did that actually a couple weekends ago, and I know the officer, I can't remember his name, but I know he went up to the door and, kind of told them, and, just nothing, they don't even, so, I mean, I know how busy you guys are, and I'm, if you really want me to call you every time that there's a.
If you see it, call.
Yeah.
We can't do anything after the fact.
Yeah.
So the officer has to see the dog?
Essentially,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that becomes a problem because, the timing of, when you might get there a little later versus the time that they actually run out into the street and, grab the dog can be, a difference. I think when I sent Luann an email on Monday morning, I did actually attach a video clip to it, showing the dog, off the leash. So anyway, it's just a reoccurring, and again, fortunately nobody's kind of gotten bit or anything like that. But again, you hate to not have neighbors come walking down your end of of the neighborhood just because someone's failing to keep their dogs. Everybody else is keeping their dogs contained. So so those are just my two items. I guess with regards to Golden Corral, I mean, is that something that again, if we I'm not sure how you keep people off the road. It seems like there should be some kind of, at least lock on the ladder, because that is definitely the way that they're getting, on the back of the building.
Do you think they're coming from either the condos or the apartments? I mean, they're just walking down. They're not pulling up and walking on the roof, right? They're probably living in that area.
I would think so. Like I said, all I can tell you for sure is, just last night I did, watch the kids that, were around. Again, I think on Friday night, more kind of teenagers, and Saturday night, it really seemed like, very grown teenagers, if not, kind of young adult size,
Okay.
that were up
Maybe
there.
we'll
So.
contact the condo and the apartment building and have them remind their residents that that's.
Yeah. Okay. Well, again, so I guess we can just keep placing the call, and if you guys are around. But again, is there nothing that can be done as far as like gating the not, I won't say gating, but some kind of both entrances, the entrance that comes off of Mason Road, and then the one where Potbelly and Slim Chickens. Is there no ways, again, since the property is vacant, even to have anybody kind of.
Are they driving there or are they walking?
Well, and again, I
there
don't
any
know
cars in the
from the
parking
ones
lot?
last night. Last night was the only one of the three incidents where I actually got in my car and went around. We have a fence between us that's
Right.
10 or 12 feet high, so I can't really kind of see over and know if the other two incidents, if they were in cars or if they were walking over. I don't know, but it just. So I'll leave it at that. I just want to make sure everybody kind of knows the concern, but unless there's a business that kind of gets in there, and I think it's going to continue to kind of get worse before it gets better if it remains vacant. So
is this the 12090 Mason Montgomery? Is that the address?
It is, but just as a technicality, that is actually considered Mason Road down this way before it actually gets to Fields Erdel. So it is actually Mason Road.
Okay.
The county has it listed both ways, so just so you know.
Yeah. So
I looked on their website, it's listed as Mason Road at the top, and then if you look at the property summary, it says Mason Montgomery Road, so it's both.
Yeah.
So can we add
Closer to
these things to the nuisance?
What's that?
Can we add these two things?
I can't
to
do
the-
anything about trespassing, that's on the business.
No, I'm saying like the ladder is an attraction, the dumpster
Shouldn't be the
is
ladder be
an
like
attraction.
secured? I mean, isn't that safety? Like there should be a
Yes.
gate around it
A
that's
box.
locked.
Yes.
Right, but I don't think the township can make them do it, I don't think.
I mean, we can only enforce the nuisance resolution as it is written, and I don't believe there's anything in the nuisance resolution that would address
So
securing the.
It said it changed hands. So who owns it now?
I just talked to the owner the other day. They called us because we sent them a nuisance letter, and I told them about the kids climbing on the roof, and I told them that from their liability insurance, it would be in their best interest to secure the property so that the kids stop coming on the property and stop climbing on the roof. I didn't know it was a ladder. I thought they were jumping on the dumpster and then getting up there in some way, shape, or form, but I told him, you know, from an insurance standpoint,
Yeah.
you know, he wouldn't want somebody to get hurt or whatever.
So can we call them again and tell them that there's a ladder that
Yeah,
needs to be
I
secured?
can email him again. I have the guy's email address, so I can contact him about that, but I can't, I think there's certain, Mike, isn't there certain things that they have to do, like, don't they have to post no trespassing signs, and, like, there's certain things that they have to do first?
Yes, and they would be, if you call and we come, there's not much we can do with the kid. The owner of the business would have to be there, and they would have to be posted, they would have to be trespassed. I mean, our guys, I mean, obviously, we're gonna run the kids off, but
Sure,
there's-
sure, yeah.
as far as
But
enforcement.
we can't even arrest them for trespassing unless there's
They're not
signs
trespassing.
posted.
Yeah,
for
you can, I
trespassing.
mean, yeah, it's
Right.
not
Okay,
posted.
Kim, we gotta make sure that we communicate that to the new owner.
Right, I did. I told him he needed to put up signs, but I can't, I mean, we're working on the car, because the car's been abandoned, so we've told him yesterday that he has to get the car out of there, which he is. He hired a towing company, and I guess they have to post signs first, and then give him so much time to move the car, and then
Yeah.
they can move it, so
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
working on that too.
Well, It's got Virginia plates and it's been there since March, so.
I know, well, we tried, he
It's a
tried
matter of
tracking it
time.
down, and we couldn't find the owner.
Yeah,
So we have tried, but.
yeah, all right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Moving on. Correspondence, any discussion of correspondence?
No.
Okay. Under meetings and events, the Board of Zoning Appeals meeting
Thanks,
will be
guys.
Monday, August 9th, 2021 at 7 PM, and that will be with Zoom. Finance Committee meeting will be Wednesday, August 11th, 2021 at 6 PM here at the Safety Center. Zoning Commission meeting will be Wednesday, August 18th, 2021 at 7 PM at the Safety Center. This month, story time with the library will be August 30th, Monday, August 30th, 2021 from 10 till 2. And this one will be at Seven Gables Park. We're rotating those around the different parks in the system. Our Labor Day holiday, the buildings will be closed on Monday, September 6th, 2021. Our regular trustees meeting will be Tuesday, September 7th, 2021 at 7 PM here in the Safety Service Center. And the Board of Zoning Appeals meeting will be held Monday, September 13th, 2021 at 7 PM, also via Zoom. Old business. I
Excuse
move
me, will
approval
you-
resolution.
Hey, Ken, sorry. Will you and Jody both be able to make that September 7th trustee meeting? Because I will be on vacation that week.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure you're both able to make
To
that.
the best of my knowledge, I will be
Okay.
here.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
But thank you, appreciate the notice. Okay, I move approval resolution G 2021-61, a resolution authorizing the township to enter into a contract with Medical Mutual of Ohio for providing health insurance coverage for the elected officials and full-time employees of Symmes Township.
Second.
Jody's got it.
Any discussion? We've been through this, that was our selection.
I have some update comments for you guys strategically when I get a chance to talk about the dental.
Would you come to the
Is that
podium?
okay?
Come on up.
I was the culprit who presented the executive summary and then had to be on an airplane during your meeting. So I apologize that I was not able to lend some additional consulting. Eric Freudenberg, your newer broker for your insurance. I'm going to give this to you guys real quick. I think it'd be a good reference point as you close out your
Thank you.
decision. Sure. It was unfortunate. I wish I could have been with you. Let's see, I'm at 5.
I don't need more.
There's one more. That's okay. I don't. Okay. Well, I guess what I wanted to do is I wrote this executive summary on the left side, and of course, in my going out of town, I also left you, I think, with a 500-page PDF, which was my pressing send that messed up that whole thing. So I feel like I owe you an apology for that handout being a mess as well. On the left-hand side, you made your decision on the medical renewal, and I just wanted to lend a follow-up to our initial hiring of Assured Partners related to 60 days ago we were assigned, and normally it's a 120-day, and so I'm really looking forward to a more strategic process with all of you, as we talked about during our interview. But the statutory concerns coming up, I just wanted to highlight that the MIWA that we looked at will be a continual discussion point in the future. And the reason being that the grandmothered status that you have now is potentially going to go away even mid-year this year, January 1st. So if the legislation would change and grandmothering would end, grandmothered plans do not meet all of the ACA requirements. And with the upholding of the ACA and some of the Biden administration's initiatives, there is the possibility, and we'll just deal with that when it happens, that the plan as it exists now could go away mid-year. And so the MIWA is an ability to go into a multi-employer plan that is managed by the carriers, that is compliant with ACA, and does have more cost sharing. For example, we're looking at what can be a scary-looking number on the out-of-pocket for RX copays after you go through your HRA money. And for example, in your case, that would have been 2 individuals last year that in the last quarter would have had some copays. So those numbers, when you start to go from where you are to a cost share, a cost containment strategy, consumerism as we call it, that is something to get used to as we look at future opportunities. Next year, we'll look again more comprehensively at the Anthem MIWA. We looked at that. I had conversations with all of the carriers, and with 6 weeks at the time that we were looking at that, and on July 20th, it was decided that really the competitiveness of the MIWA opportunity with Medical Mutual was the best non-disruptive, with 10 days to enroll a new carrier. As you guys know, disruption with your doctors and your pharmacy costs and all of that. So Medical Mutual was able to be quite competitive, as you know, on the MIWA. But I understand the concerns and the decision to not go with the MIWA based on the few people that might have been impacted by those copays after going through their HRA money and meeting their deductible. But as we talked during our onboarding process, just to realize that while you've been in this grandmother plan for 8 years, the industry has moved to another cost-sharing strategy, that there really won't be any plans that don't have those types of copays after you meet your deductible. Your employees are in a great position because they have 100% paid premiums, and they only pay a third of the deductible, first third, and you cover the second third. So you're in a really, and I know, Ken, we talked about not doing away with that, how much you guys really thought, and I agree, is a really great benefit. But these RX copays are now a new part of most insurance plans. And so as we go forward, hopefully we'll get an extension on grandmother plans, and next August we'll look 120 days, 150 days, we'll start to have strategy meetings with you on there's more of an education process, I think, in making changes like that. And you just can't do it in 10 days. So I'm great with the decision, but I wanted to give a little bit more consultative background on why, that front end savings of, I think it was $12,000 would save everyone. The back end would have been 2 individuals last year that would have had maybe a quarter's worth of RX copays. And when you have copays, you start to say, doctor, could you get me to tier 2 instead of tier 3 because I want to save money? That's consumerism, where the user of the health plan begins to question the cost. And that's how you keep your costs down long term. So that's why they've added what they call post-deductible copays. And those go on forever. That's why that number looks so big. It's just till the end of eternity, you're paying a $15, $20, $30, or on large specialty drugs, which is the largest driver of healthcare costs, 50%, up to 50% is covered. So I just wanted to give you guys more of my explanation on number 1 on your executive summary. Is that helpful? Are there any questions about that? I think you guys probably covered it, but poor Susie was covering for me and your handout was messed up. So I just wanted to make sure that I addressed that. Anything else? Great, okay, good. Second was, Kim, we wanted to talk about the bundled ancillaries. If you look on your packet on the left-hand side and you turn, this time I have page numbers for you. Page, 4. You will see a revised dental overview. Again, number 2 was a lot of the time that I've spent is trying to bring all of your various benefits, talking to all the carriers you're with and not with, find out a way to bundle all of your benefits to one renewal date with, preferably one ancillary carrier would be quite nice. And so Principal was the most competitive among the group. And one of the things we liked about their ability is they specialize in groups your size. And secondly, on the dental, you'll see that while there is a difference in the newest one is the Dental Care Plus Direct Premium Only plan, which was $152 to move the one on the basic plan to the one individual from the basic plan to the premium. So Kim outlined that in her email to you. That's a really nice Dental Care Plus deal that we can do to align the benefit. The only additional expense is giving that one person a better plan. They want to give everyone the same plan. So that's $152. The only negative that I would see with staying with Dental Care Plus is that, and I think maybe someone alluded to this within the group, is they have recently been purchased by a national group called Dynamax and used to be the carrier of choice for all the brokers. And we give this feedback directly to Dental Care Plus. But we get calls every week from providers, dental providers, that say they're leaving that network. When you leave the Dental Care Plus network, you do go out of network. What Principal is offering, and there's handouts on the right-hand side that explain this concept, they're offering all the way on alternate 2 what's called a 99%. You'll see under, if you go down to network and non-network, it says 99th usual and customary. They'll pay at the highest level for all doctors in the region for that procedure at the 99th percentile, which is the highest reimbursement. So it's not an issue. There's no balance billing. If you go out of network with Dental Care Plus, you get balance billed, and it can be 3 times as much as the normal cost. If you go with the alternate 2 with Principal, what they're offering, and that's one of the reasons that we initially engaged them, is their ability to offer. We had quoted the one next to it, the alternate 1 originally, the 90th, but we thought in light of the issues that we had with concerns for the employees and appreciated them, that we should look at the 99th as a protection for the Dental Care Plus situation, and any other new hires that you have, or changing doctors and dentists is a very, very personal thing, that it would help to protect anyone that went out of network, whether they meant to or not, with a 99%, no balance billing, and a coverage that protected you in or out of network. Is that clear how that difference works? It's sometimes sounds like a lot of it. We were talking about how do you end up in insurance? I don't know, but started out in higher education, and now here I am in insurance. But there's a lot to teach, I think, about the basic concepts that can be quite complicated if they're not brought down to a practical level. So I just wanted to outline that that's the decision before us, is we can bundle everything with Principal, or we can go ahead and you saw all the savings on the all the ancillary lines moving to Principal are less than the current costs. And then the dental would be, in order to offer the employees the most comprehensive protection for any out-of-network carrier, it's $1,100 versus the $938 that we originally have at the bottom of your executive summary. So the $938.40 for the dental increase would be an additional, it looks like an additional $230 from what we went ahead and came back with that. We also asked Direct Dental Care Plus if that's where you would like to stay, despite some of the concerns about their network, out of network. We were able to give you a less than what we originally showed in the executive summary, down to $152.40 for staying with Dental Care Plus. So these things are value judgments for the future, not always an immediate. And so the MEWA discussion and this idea of the 99th usual and customary protection versus the protection you're used to, which is in-network, out-of-network, and the pitfalls of that are judgment calls that, as we get to know each other, I'll have a better feeling as your consultant as to what you would like before you even tell me. But learning to dance together, would love to get some feedback on those options and what the township would like to do.
Eric, I do have a question. I couldn't remember. What was our out-of-network benefit for Dental Care Plus?
The
currently?
out-of-network benefit for Dental Care Plus, it should be on here.
I only saw network only,
Yeah.
and I forgot to look it up before I left my office.
I'll have to do a follow-up on the exact percentage.
Didn't know if it was 60/40?
Yeah, I think it was 60/40. I'm sorry, I don't have that with me.
So like where the plan pays 60 and you have to pay 40, or is it
Yeah,
the
it's
opposite?
it's a dramatic difference.
The only question I have.
Sure.
Is grandmothering. How much notice do we have? Or will we get?
Well, a lot of times with those decisions, they're released in the fall and effective January 1. When grandmothering first happened, it only happened retroactively because of public outcry. So we were all going to be moving to the ACA rates for all plans, and that would be a bad thing for this group because of your demographic. So we've avoided the ACA rates. Grandmothering happened retroactively, so it can happen with some notice, no notice, or retroactive notice, which is really unusual.
But we're trying to get everything on an 8/1.
This is going to be a
Start date.
9/1 for the ancillaries,
Okay.
and then we'll do
All right.
11-month plan year.
So that's only like 5 months to the beginning of the year.
Mhm.
So shouldn't we be working on what if at this
Yeah,
point in time?
We're ready with the what if. So Medical Mutual still has their offer on the table if we would need to switch.
Okay.
Yeah, I made sure of that.
All right.
It's just so much to take in, to be honest with you.
And it is a lot to learn.
It's a lot, and especially on a Zoom call when your consultant's not there. That's great. And it gives you a 50-page
Right.
messed up PDF. Poor Susie, I had to take her to lunch. I offered a drink, but that wasn't probably appropriate.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be
So-
okay. I just wanted to make sure that
So,
you knew why the MIWA
for
is a
dental-
safe place down the road.
Okay, for dental, what is your recommendation? Do we stay
I
with
really
Dental
feel like
Care
we should
Plus
go
or
with principal, because I think that we're going to be able to avoid disruption that you aren't expecting, that we're seeing kind of a caving of the network. And I think you're also going to have people that are going to want to switch doctors, and if they're not in the network, then, dentists, I mean, that 99th percentile is such a small cost for that kind of double insurance of covering their non-network.
And is this a way of slowly getting us to the point where we need to be educated? I mean, this is like a baby step to the new healthcare insurance. Is that a way to look at it?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think there's a lot, my whole style is education, and it's, like we said, that it may not look like 60 days it's very short,
Right.
but I think, we had to come to the table at July 20th, and we got carrier notifications June 20th, I think, so we had about a month to get ready.
Right.
But I think you're the same way. It's like, I never think it's a good idea to make really big decisions, really
Changes.
dramatic decisions without, we talked about a lot during our interview with you, and I have a lot that I'd like to periodically update you on in a non-renewal, because I think you can't make decisions in your seat very easily without prep
Right.
and some reading and knowing the statutory changes coming for
And our
2020.
goal is to protect our employees.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
I have a question. Kim, you were to do a survey on in-principal network for dental.
It's in the staff report.
We did it already, yeah.
Yep.
All the other
So-
carriers, Dental Care Plus has the lock on the network. When you go out of network, it's going to cost you big. The discounts are not even as great as some of the others that are in network, but the network is more expansive. See, this is the judgment call. What we're saying is that by not focusing on in-network, by focusing on the UCR, which is the usual and customary rate, then it becomes a non-issue. And that's why many people are moving to the UCR. MetLife and Principal are the only ones that offer it right now. It's a very creative way to help the old, in Kim's chair, for example, or yours if you're working with your employees, how frustrating is it to play the network, non-network game? Whether it's your doctor changing when your insurance changes, or your dentist changes because the insurance changes. This is a new way. The other thing is a maximum calculator where anything you didn't use in your benefit rolls over to next year. That's another feature of the Principal plan. So it's kind of nice. So if I didn't use my maximum benefit, it rolls over to the second year, and I have more to spend in year 2. So It started with the medical. Medical's been the main course. Let's be real. It's a big cost. It's the big. Then dental is catching up, I would say, in creativity. But that's where
Does-
go ahead.
The rollover, is that on a calendar year basis?
It's on a calendar year basis.
Okay.
So if you would move to principal, the deductibles would carry over. So anything that was accrued since January
Mhm.
in the plan with Dental Care Plus would count towards the deductible for the end of the year, and then it would reset in January.
Okay.
All right.
The only other thing to highlight, and this may be the deal breaker, is you'll see that they also have an annual deductible of $50 for individuals and $150 for families, and that is not part of the plan now. So this is where there's cost share to keep costs, to keep the renewals and to keep people saying, oh, well, I guess I better actually ask if my doctor's costs are good or bad. $50. The other thing is that.
And you'll educate our employees, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of them know just how good your benefits are. I mean, they have spouses, they have other people.
That's
So
why
it's
we
not,
retain
these little
people.
changes are not, what's that?
That's why we keep our employees.
It is, yeah. These are minor things, but when you've had, no change for a long time, little changes are something to be educated on. But I will tell you that the great way to get your $50 back is 3 benefits are being added, as we mentioned with principal. The critical illness, the accident policies, and the voluntary life. So we have 3 new benefits, which we talked about during our interview about how to make it even better. With the critical illness, which is a very small percentage out of your checks, very small amount, you're able to get a $50 reimbursement when you get your preventive visit every year, which is something we want to educate your group on. So we talked about wellness too, so that critical illness policy, if someone would choose it, even at the minimum level, they would be able to get for themselves and their spouse $100. So there's your money back. If you're a family, it's $150 for the deductible for your dental. Or if you're an individual, it's $50, but you get your money back by. And then if you have a critical illness, you get paid $5,000, $10,000. There's a whole schedule of critical illnesses, or with kids, accidents. Believe me, my kids were so accident prone in sports, it was scary. But having that accident policy has the same thing. You could get the accident policy, not the critical illness, and still have the $50 wellness reward, which we want to be not just sitting on our hands. We want to get everybody involved in consumerism, involved in wellness. And that's, these little teeny changes can feel a little abrupt, especially on July 20th for 8/1, but, in the scheme of things, we'd love to be able to start to move a little more in that direction. I don't know if that makes sense. Any questions about that?
Nope. Thank you.
Yeah, so I don't know, Kim, at what point tonight you'll make the decision on the dental, but.
It's right
just-
after the
Right now.
health insurance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I've got
I
4
went ahead,
different
sorry.
resolutions. I've got 4 different resolutions, so whichever plan you pick, that's the resolution you guys can sign.
Okay.
There's not a bad decision here, as there wasn't with the medical. It's just this or that, how do you want to start moving towards cost share, or do you want to wait? Yep.
Okay. I have a question. Well, first off, we've read resolution G2021-61 for Med Mutual. That one was read and seconded.
Yes.
Now we got to vote.
So that's up for a vote. So let's deal with that first. Okay. Any other discussion necessary?
No.
All right. Roll call.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Ms. Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Bryan.
Aye. Okay, now comes the question.
So we should read it based on the one I picked, right? Okay.
I move approval of Resolution G2021-63, a resolution authorizing the Township Administrator to enter into a contract with Principal to provide dental, vision, life, and short-term disability coverage for the elected officials and full-time employees of Symmes Township.
Second.
Discussion. I'm looking at these alternate resolutions, still numbered -63, and one of them includes dental, and one of them does not.
Right.
And I'm looking at the staff report here. In principle, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 employees that their dentist isn't in network.
Right, so then they could get, if you choose the 90 percentile, they could get 90% of it reimbursed, or if you choose the 99, they could get 99% of their costs reimbursed.
Out of network.
Out of network.
Okay, so they can still use their same
Same dentist.
Okay, now I see why we're talking about usual and customary.
Right.
Okay,
It's
out of network.
90% of the highest cost.
Okay, all
So
right.
right now in our current plan, you only get 60% reimbursed, and you have to pay the 40%
But I
if you
would
go
go
out of
99
network.
if you're gonna do it all.
I understand. Now, on the same table that you put together for us, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 don't have Superior Dental. Now, Superior Dental is
Oh, we didn't look at Superior
That's part of
Dental.
the
They-
medical mutual.
Delta Care Plus is,
She did a comparison of Superior, because I think she was looking at Superior, but she never did give me a quote on Superior. So that one you can just disregard.
That's
okay.
medical mutuals for.
Okay.
Ah, okay.
So if we stayed with Dental Care Plus, all of our employees are already in that network.
Right.
Okay, makes sense to me.
So if you choose that one, then you have to choose the principal one that only provides for,
No dental alternate
right,
three.
it only provides for life, vision, and short-term disability.
Did you
Okay.
include the new lines too, Kim, the critical illness accident?
I didn't, because it's not something we would pay for.
Right.
I left that up to the individual employees to be voluntary.
Correct.
So then you would have to choose this no dental alt 3 one that I have the note on. So that's just principal, just doing life, vision, and short-term disability. And then we would have to pass a separate resolution, which I've labeled as 70,
Yes.
for the dental by itself for Dental Care Plus.
All right.
It's kind of the same concept as maybe you'll need the MIWA, maybe the Dental Care Plus network will fall apart, and you'll wish you were in principal. It's the same big parallel decision. There's not a wrong decision here. It's just whether you want to move in that direction yet.
Now, the Delta Care Plus premium's gone up from last year, correct?
Yeah, it went up, was it 4.8%?
The premium deal that we have is equal except for that one person.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
All right.
Yeah. It'd just be an upgrade for that one individual to the premium plan for $152.
One individual. Okay. You guys understand what we're voting on, with or without dental? That's the bottom line. Principle, right?
God bless you all.
Yeah.
That's all I could say.
It's like a
Tough
lot.
decision.
Hmm?
It's a lot.
Today is August 3rd, right? I think it is. What are we paying for right now?
You're paying for dental care plus.
We're paying for Dental Care Plus until the 1st of September?
Yeah, that's when we've,
Got it. Okay.
So, one thing that might take the pressure off, even though we're laying a future plan here, it may be the right decision to go ahead and keep PCP for now. And we can always do a realignment if it starts to be an issue for young people. So, it's just kind of like me, it's not like it's not out there for future. So I don't want to, our recommendation is to be more progressive, but I know that you're more, concerned about
We're trying
things.
to.
So I just want to make sure you don't feel undue pressure here. You need to make that decision.
All these people are not covered under this.
But they are covered out of network for 99% reimbursement. That's what.
Right, you'll get up to 99% of the
Okay.
usual and customary
That's
fee.
the question I asked and it was answered.
Okay, I understand.
And then it gives you the freedom to move if you need to.
So, 99.
It reminds me of the same thing as 2 people met their deductible last year. 2 people might be affected.
Not on their own
PCP
package.
is not in that. It's not a huge percentage.
It's not a network for sure.
Medical comparison.
I saw
I feel
that.
like we're in jeopardy
dental. Okay. All right, well, I'll just tell you.
All sorts of horror stories about dental care plus.
Oh, boy, okay. Public speaks.
Usual testimony.
I know, my dentist dropped them, that's why I had to switch.
I mean, if you want to be part of the Medicaid dental plan, that's what
We
you
were
got.
at 90 was
Dental
our
care
alternate
plus.
one. And
Their
then
overlords
alternate
are
two, which is not 100% for all of these employees, it says
And
no.
I had dental care
They can
plus,
still go to their
and they
dentist.
retroactively denied
And get 99%
crown on the front tooth because I could have just had a filling on a front tooth, you know, with a silver amalgam filling. Because it's not, you know, it would be considered unnecessary.
That's what's happening. I think they consider
And
your-
then what was there? And it would go up by.
I've got
That's
a
frustrating.
OBI on.
All right, I'll try principal. I'll give it my old college
Principal
try
help.
this year.
Principal alternate two.
Yep.
That's the 99.
That's a none.
Yeah.
I'm sold on that too.
Yeah, all right,
Yeah.
we'll do
They're
it.
gonna to say that.
All right.
They're gonna deny a $1,500 claim, I'm gonna make sure they spend $10,000 fighting it, so.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So the motion as read, G 2021-63 includes dental, vision, life, short-term disability coverage for elected officials and full-time employees, and that is alternate two principal.
Okay, I'll
That's on
second.
the table.
Okay, I second.
Okay.
Okay, we're ready for
Any
roll
more
call.
discussion?
No.
Okay. Roll call.
Ms. Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Bryant,
Aye.
Mr. Beck.
Aye.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, it's the alternate to the premium where it's the,
1,167.
It's 99th VNC alternate two
right, okay.
sticker.
Got
Okay,
it.
that's the one we just passed.
Okay,
And we can throw away alternate 3 and 70, right?
and it's the same title.
Okay. That was a lot.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
the
you.
guidance on that.
And God bless you. Welcome to healthcare.
Gotten very complicated.
Yeah, it has, right.
No, right.
I do want to keep a tight watch on what's going on, so please keep us apprised what you see coming down the road with the grandmothering and everything else. Okay. That concludes old business. Under new business, I move to accept the resignations of James Singler from the Zoning Commission.
Second?
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Bryant,
Aye.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Ms. Lees.
Aye.
Okay. I move to appoint Jeff Reichman as member of the Zoning Commission to fill the unexpired term for James Singler, ending on 12/31/2023.
Second.
Discussion?
Thank you, Jeff.
Discussion. Roll call?
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Ms. Lees.
Aye.
Mr. Bryant.
Aye. Now, we have to administer the oath of office
Please.
to Mr. Reichman.
Step up there so they can hear you on the microphone.
Oh, that sounds great.
You raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Jeffrey Reichman,
I, Jeffrey Reichman,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of a member
the duties of a member
of the Zoning Commission of Symmes Township,
of the Zoning Commission of Symmes Township,
Hamilton County, Ohio,
Hamilton County, Ohio,
which I have been appointed.
to which I've been appointed. Thank you.
You don't have to say that. You have to say it.
There's a $10,000 bond. Where is it?
Dock my pay.
Yeah, right. How many years does that take?
Just a couple.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
Jeff.
you.
Thanks, Jeff.
I move to not request a hearing for liquor license renewal for Tano LLC, DBA as Cazador, 11315 Montgomery Road, Symmes Township, 45249.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
No comments about that? No ill comments?
No, I checked with the
Okay.
sheriff's department. They don't have any complaints.
Okay. All right. Roll call.
Ms. Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Bryant,
Aye.
Mr. Beck.
Aye.
Okay, I move to not request a hearing for liquor license renewal for Herradura Fiesta Inc. Incorporated, DBA Herradura Fiesta Mexican Restaurant, Units 18 and 20 and patio at 11928 Montgomery Road, Symmes Township, Ohio, 45249.
Second.
He doesn't have to stay.
That was a joint second.
Same thing, no complaints.
Thank you. Roll call.
Mr. Bryant,
Aye.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Ms. Lees.
Aye.
Okay. I move.
Eric, you don't have to stay, Eric. You don't have to stay. Unless you want to stay. Because I'm like, okay.
Okay.
You're
Thank
sitting
you for
there. I
coming
felt
by.
guilty
Thanks,
making you
Eric.
sit through the rest of this.
I'd like to open a discussion concerning potential uses for the Mead House and the Sunflower Field.
So our architect that we hired to review the meat house and potential structural issues, potential upgrade in use category, she needs to know exactly, the ideas that you guys have for the house so that she can be very specific in the plans, because I think each category takes a different change in use.
So maybe we need to set this for a
Work session?
Work session.
Yeah.
But I also had a real quick, I know we have a committee formed, and I was thinking that I spoke with Bill, and there's neighbors on each side of them that love the Mead property, the ones that are directly next door on each side. So I was thinking it would be nice to invite them into the group to make sure they have a say of what the Mead house would be on our committee.
Okay.
You know
I
what
think-
I'm talking about, the two on each side,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay. You want to treat the Sunflower Field separate?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So if we schedule the work session, we're going to invite the architect in?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Okay.
Just want to make sure.
Drives up the cost, right?
They should have that embedded in their pricing.
Yeah.
Okay. So why don't we split this one and table the discussion concerning potential uses for the Mead House, put that into a work session, which we need to schedule.
Correct.
Can we survey the architect and find out availability before we set this date?
Yeah.
Is that the appropriate thing to do? I mean, we could schedule it for us, and then they may not be able to make it, so
What do you want to do, like potential dates?
we could do that.
Sure.
I can't do August. It'd have to be, it can be early September, but I have way too much going on in August.
Okay. Gee, that's only the 3rd.
I gotta get my daughter to Minnesota. I mean, I got all this
Okay.
little things.
So,
You're on vacation first week of September?
Yeah, after Labor Day.
Okay.
something doesn't look right. Any suggestions? I'm pretty much open.
How about September 14, 21, 28? 6 o'clock.
Fine with me.
Pick one.
Well, let's just, all three as
Okay,
options.
14, 21, or 28 September.
Okay.
And we'll have to get in touch with our committee also. So we do a survey and pick the best date. right. Let's talk about the sunflower field then. This year was a bust. Did we get bad seed? What happened? Does
I
anybody know?
think we got bad seeds, because if you look, has anybody like stomped through it? There's stuff growing in it that's not sunflower, I mean like flowers, and then there's small sunflowers that are this tall.
Right. Yeah,
So
it's just
I
like-
thought it would be fun, because you know, as you know, because you walk there,
Yeah.
you see the deers in it. And I was thinking that it would be fun, because people I know are already calling about it and making comments about it. I think if we turn it into something fun, like have a sign, Symmes Township 2, Deers 1.
We have to-
Like a like a scoreboard, and explain what happened.
Or we could make a crawling maze.
Well, I was thinking, I was with you on
It's
that.
only that tall.
Right, but you can make a maze through it, because we decorate for Halloween, the trail. So instead of having hay, you can make like a fun, and let it, mow it. Not necessarily mow it, we might have to weed whack it, and make a maze through there, and put up some like scarecrows, and make it kind of fun for that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to wait that
You
long.
think it'll still be up by then?
It's not up now, but
No,
I
it's
think
bending over right
it's
now.
bending over now. But what I'm saying is, we could try cutting, and if it doesn't work, we could just mow the whole thing down.
I guess my larger question is, do you guys want to continue with it into next year?
Why not?
Sure.
I'm just asking the
I
question.
think it's a great draw for that location.
Okay.
However, has anyone attempted to get some reimbursement or something from the supplier?
No, I mean, we don't really know what happened. I don't know if it was when we planted it, if we did a crappy job, if we
You
did.
get 2% sunflower in there, right?
Can I make a suggestion? Natorps decided not to do their sunflowers. They
Right.
lost the property. Why don't we
Ask
see
them, do it
how much
here?
they would charge to put a sunflower field there, so our employees wouldn't have to deal with it. I mean, they could be responsible for the deer deterrent and things like that. And if it's too expensive, I understand that we can go back to that, but they do a good job every year.
Well,
And
they
I'm
had-
not saying our employees don't, but I'm just saying that they know how to do it.
I thought there was a big disappointment that the people who owned the field that Natorps put it on in the past wanted to use that field for other purposes.
That's right.
And basically Natorps got shut out of putting it there. So why don't we invite them to put it on their property?
And that's
Yeah.
what I think.
I like that idea.
Thank
Okay?
you.
Yeah.
Okay. But I think we should
I was all
try.
geared up to say, hey, you can't go there, but you come here, and then I look at it, and
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Every time I walk there, I'm like, oh, what happened
I
this
was there
year?
today.
So
I saw 2 deer.
I think we should try and turn it into something fun, though, until, if we can't, we can just mow it down. But I think we have to explain it. I mean, people are going to be showing up.
Okay.
I mean, we can do something fun with it. We can try cutting the maze. If the maze doesn't work, then we can just mow it. Do you want to try it and try doing a maze? Do you not want to try doing a maze?
Not tall enough, really, for a maze.
Yeah, but you still can run through it, because if you cut it short, you're still it's up to you.
Make it into a meditative labyrinth.
Like, cut the circle.
It's always short.
Okay.
Yeah. You walk the labyrinth.
Well, let's salvage
To
something.
the center.
I mean, just try to make light of the situation, because it's really sad.
Well,
Because
let's-
a lot of people really enjoyed it.
Yeah, especially the photographers for back to school and
Mhm.
senior pictures
Kids
and all
running
that.
around. It was
Yeah.
like a very nice thing for a month.
Okay, next subject, with your approval. I move a discussion concerning landscape plan for Belong Park. So, and once again, this is on the horizon, right? This is not this year. This is future plans, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we got the new latest, which
Yeah.
was a compilation of
Right, these are a compilation of all our comments that you guys had at the last time we met to discuss it. So it keeps the grand steps in there, it keeps a few accent landscaping, it has the retaining wall, it has the curved walls, the trees, and then that overhead structure that we talked about, round structure, and they gave a few examples, like in the pictures to the up top and to the side. And then it's got the pedestals in there like we talked about, taking off the plaques and putting them on the pedestals.
So
like
we're making
underneath.
this more like a place to have lunch. Like, this is what, up here is what we're talking about, right? Like you just sit and relax and
Like a
have lunch.
trellis.
Yeah, okay.
Some tables and chairs, or picnic tables or something. What, is there a cost estimate for this, Kim?
No, we would have to maybe try to find a landscaper that would give us a rough estimate for it. Which we could probably ask any of our mowing people if they do landscaping.
Mm-hmm. I don't like that.
No, not at all. But I like this. I like this idea. I think this is beautiful.
Which one?
So I think it'd be helpful to have some,
I think
maybe
that's
2 or
good.
3 cost estimates
Okay.
from different vendors,
I like this thing.
and they'll have to, you know, they'll need a permit to build the trellis, I'm
That's it.
assuming.
Certainly not a halo.
And then we need to bring it to the finance committee and figure out how we would pay for this.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And this is long-term. I mean, we're not, yeah. But it could be, it has potential to be very pretty.
Mhm.
Okay.
Sure.
Sure. Sure.
Sure, go ahead.
Andrea Barnhill, 7914 Clement in Camp Dennison. I haven't been at the meetings previously for a while, but this question, this landscaping thing, is this part of the Symmes Township Beautification Committee projects? Or is this something somebody else
Not
proposed?
necessarily, but
Here's the problem. We can't get anybody to be on our beautification committee.
I know, they were trying to get me and nobody called me back, but.
Oh, really?
what?
When?
This was like a year ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, we would love to have you if you would like to volunteer.
Well, Barb and I are
Come
actually.
on. I'm always looking for people.
So is the Symmes Township Committee not in effect? Is it?
It's us, because we don't have
Okay.
anybody.
Okay. Because I know when Bill, Mr. Beck and I had talked about this before,
Mhm.
we wanted to maybe join that committee because we wanted to have some representation down in Camp Dennison.
Sure.
Because
Mhm.
it's kind of like the orphan child, you know.
Sometimes,
Right.
yes.
And it's got a lot of history
It
there
does.
that we can
Sure.
really build it
Okay.
up. So Barb and I are kind of plotting together and thinking of coming up with some ideas, and we wanted to present it then to the trustee at some point. And, but we didn't know if we should do that as on our own or a part of the committee or.
We've also done some things already, just
Yeah.
down in Camp Dennison
At
on
our own
Oh, nice.
expense, but,
Well, I'm the
Hmm.
trustee on the beautification committee,
Okay.
so I don't know if you would want to meet with me, or if you want to make a presentation to all 3 of us. I don't know how you want to do that.
well, I think we'd want to meet with you first to get some of our questions answered.
Okay.
And then we certainly would be able to come up with a plan or some sort, because, I mean, other than getting funding from Symmes Township, it would all be out of our pockets or
Yeah.
voluntary donations.
Yeah.
Is Civic Association or Civic League helping you in any way down there with what you're doing?
Well, I'm on the Civic League, I'm the treasurer, so
Okay.
we have discussed this
Okay.
at our last meeting, and when Mike Howell, who's our president, he said, well, we should probably get together, get our minds around what we want to do, and put it into a plan, and then present it to the township
Mhm.
Yeah, that would be great.
trustees. So, but I think I want to talk to you first anyway, just so we know where we're
I
going
love
with this.
beautification.
So,
Yeah.
I love those.
okay, so this project that you, for the Memorial Park, is
Yeah.
just somebody's, or,
This is,
That park has been an orphan,
yeah.
in a sense. The Memorial Park, great idea and so on, but it sat there and not really used, and the Union Savings Bank uses the parking lot, or has used the parking lot under some previous agreement, which they are not using it now because they've moved their corporate offices to Governor's Hill, and so they're not using it, and now's an opportunity for us to really look at it. And we're going through our different parks anyway, trying to improve, refurbish, what have you, and we're looking at each of our different parks. And this is
You wanna get Denison too?
kind of what we're looking at for this one. This is almost the gateway
Come
park.
see me.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
All right, this is definitely the gateway into
Yeah.
Symmes Township.
Okay.
So that's why we're kind of looking at this. But we love residents to come up with ideas. I love beautification. We
Yeah.
all love beautification. So yes, please get with us because we would.
Okay. Who put in the bench there? Is that the bike trail, or was that Symmes Township, or was
The
it?
bike trail put in the bench.
Okay.
ODNR.
Well, the bike trail,
It belongs to ODNR.
is it, okay,
Yeah.
the voluntary, okay.
Ohio Department of Natural Resources.
So we went ahead and put in some flower pots and stuff.
They have
to-
planted trees
Yeah.
along the bike trail over the years.
so Anyway, okay, well, we won't want to get into discussion, and we'll talk to you afterwards, but thank you
Yes,
very much.
thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Mark.
Beautification committee is a township-wide thing, not just a-
Right.
Right.
Wasn't there at
But
least
she
one
would
other,
represent Keith Denison. I mean, we can talk
Representation
about
is fine,
everything.
but-
Yeah.
wasn't there at least one other person that?
There were two.
that
Two.
Or
voiced
Joanne
interest?
Allen or whatever,
but she- I think
and
she-
I can circle back with them.
Yeah.
what was his name? His father was
I know.
county commissioner.
Yeah. That would be
and
nice.
came out of Sharonville, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, never could get anybody else.
Okay.
All right, so we're done with this one?
Yeah.
Okay. Open a discussion concerning Fall Festival, which I guess we've called Fall for Symmes and Symmes Fest and all those kind of different things. With, we're kind of on the fence in a sense because we have mass gatherings and COVID, and who knows?
So as of right now, full steam ahead.
Okay.
I think we have to be careful with certain things, but I mean, I think the event can go off. I think we need to wait a little bit to determine things like food and how close things can be. But as of right now, I definitely would like to have the event. But
Do you guys want us to continue with like the tractor thing that we did like 2 years ago when we kind of went around Deer Run? Or do you want us to do the trail thing? Which did you guys
You're
like
talking
better?
about the hayride kind of thing
Yeah.
that dropped people off at the
Right.
haunted walk?
Yeah, so we just need to know which one you guys want us to do.
Man, I'm not.
I guess in concept, Fall Fest, it's an outdoor event, so that's in our favor, no matter how things go. But yeah, like Jody said, I mean, things do go south between now and October, then we may have to be prepared to pull the plug on this altogether and get the word out so that we communicate that. But I think we just have to keep planning for the festival as if it's going to go, and keep in touch with the county public health, closely. I mean, I attended an update with them earlier today, and it's, I mean, for the time being, the county is seeing spikes, like it or not. And the building I'm in, it's mandatory masks. So, but that's August, so we just have to, I think, plan for it and hope for the best. And
So do you
and
think
just
we
be ready
should-
to adjust.
Stick with the trail then versus having the tractor ride? So people aren't sitting together on the tractor and they can just wander through the trail themselves?
Unless we can we set up the tractor so it's socially distant? I mean, so you're not
So-
crammed
We can
on the hay
try.
What
wagon?
she's talking about is, I think they came up with this thing where they rode the tractor around and then drove it back. We've done it
Right.
in the past where they just drive around the little scary thing and drive it back. or you drive them back and they walk.
Right, walk the
Back.
trail.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how it originally was.
Mhm.
And then they tried it the other way.
So I didn't know which way you guys preferred it. You know, which do you want us to do?
What do you prefer?
We don't care either way, we just,
Are we gonna have a haunted trail? Are we gonna have a trail to walk back? That answers the question of whether you drop them off or make a loop.
right, so that's what I'm asking you. Do you want us to do a trail, or do you want to do the tractor ride?
We got all this stuff to put up on the trail, but we don't necessarily have people to man the stations, do we?
Well, we don't have to man the stations. I mean, you can, I think the Boy Scouts already expressed interest in volunteering.
What,
So,
s'mores or?
well,
or
no, just
Just
helping out.
handing out candy
Yeah,
at the
candy
stations.
like they did last
Okay,
time.
all right.
I think they're excited about that.
We're gonna
That's
give away
one of their
pumpkins?
We're doing pumpkins.
Okay.
For sure. As of right now, we have our petting zoo opened. And we have our normal, our wax hands and all the other stuff that we're, as of now, it might have to change.
If we cancel, are we losing deposits and so on?
This whole world's so
All right,
new.
so I get the feeling and the flavor that we're gonna wanna do the full-blown thing like we've done in the past, and then have to cut it back based on what medical recommendations are as we get closer.
Mhm.
That's kind of my feeling. Take them, drop them off, let them walk the trail back.
I mean,
Okay.
worst
Boy
come to
Scouts
worst,
hand
we
out
do
candy,
the trail like we
all this
did
kind of
last
stuff,
year.
pick up the pumpkins,
Worst
have
case.
the
Yeah,
petting zoo.
I don't know
Okay.
why we're this is like a hard decision to
Well,
make.
it kind of is because you're looking, it's not very far down the pike, and at the beginning of the year, we were talking about Easter egg hunt and all this kind of stuff, and we knew we were in COVID scenario, so we canceled a lot of events. We'd like to have some events, but we want to be careful how we do them.
Right. So I hear you saying that you want to do the trail. Is that what I hear you saying?
Yeah, I think we
Okay.
ought to try and do everything that we can to get some sense of normalcy, but we really have to keep an eye on what the medical experts are telling us.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
That was easy. Okay. Discussion, I move a discussion concerning Home of the Brave Park and a request for batting cages by the Loveland Youth Baseball Organization.
So they're going to pay for the batting cage. Is that my understanding?
yes. The concern I have is,
Yeah.
I didn't realize when Bill put the request in that it's gonna require this huge concrete pad to go underneath it, which would be permanent, which is like, what were
Well-
the
Do you
dimensions?
have to
It
have a
was,
concrete pad?
I love
think so.
baseball,
Why do you have to have a
No.
concrete pad?
You don't
But-
have to have one.
but you don't have
that's
to
what
have
they
it.
wanna do though, cause those are the pictures they sent me.
Well, look, they've come to us and they wanted 2 fields, infield opened up and so on. We thought it's a great idea. They're willing to pay for that and so on, but I haven't seen anything start on it yet. They wanted the outfield warning tracks to have the special gravel and so on, which we've had nothing but problems with on erosion, and we keep putting it back. We have warm-up cages and everything now for pitchers and what have you. Looks to me like we have fenced-off areas for almost a batting cage now. Why do they want batting cages? So I'm scratching my head. I'm sorry.
Ken, why don't you call him? Matt.
Matt? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't mind talking with
Discussion
him.
with him.
Okay.
I mean,
There's no-
possibly we could look at a batting cage light and just put in the posts and either some netting or some
Yeah.
chain link,
Yeah.
There's a
but no concrete.
Well, there's another way of looking at this, too. I see the word batting cages, plural.
Mhm.
Why not have an area now where we don't have fields that we could create a batting cage, one that everybody uses?
Well, that's kind of a good idea.
see if it gets used.
Yeah. I mean, what, are they gonna buy a pitching machine and all this kind of stuff?
No,
Are you gonna have to have
you just have a
screening?
screen and
Yeah,
you
it's
pitch from behind it.
Right, that's
You're
what.
gonna have to have some mechanism to protect everybody from the hit balls and,
That's
yeah,
the-
I think
that's the
we
cage.
need a lot more discussion here with them before we commit to this.
Yeah, see, in terms of dimensions, 2 cages, 70 feet long by 15 feet wide by 12 feet high. Concrete pad poured approximately 50 by 80. So my concern was, is it even gonna fit in the area where they wanna put it between fields 7 and 8? And not really,
Okay. Well, this is the first I've seen of it, so.
Not really
I
hip
think
on
we'll
it
go
being
back and we'll
permanent.
talk with them more.
okay.
Okay, so we'll table that issue. I move the table.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Mr. Beck?
Well, it's just discussion, so.
Mr. Beck?
It's just discussion.
But,
Yeah,
okay,
okay.
aye.
Mr. Beck?
Aye,
Ms. Lees?
Aye.
Mr. Bride?
Aye.
okay. Mowing.
Okay, I move a discussion concerning mowing for 2022.
Bill has asked if you guys could discuss the possibility of figuring out whether we can just rehire the contractors we have now for next year. I guess they have asked us on numerous occasions if we would extend our contract, which we did put in the resolution to do that if we wanted to. And I know that Jody had asked us to kind of get creative on the mowing. I did the table comparisons like Ken wanted,
Mhm.
compared like all the hours. The biggest thing for us is it would take us, I think it would take multiple days. It usually takes about 3 days to do all the mowing. And then the other part of the time you're spending cleaning all the bathrooms. So there's really not a whole lot of time left to do other things that need to get done. So that's a reason why we first went to hiring out the mowing, so that we could do more things in the park. The only thing that Bill could think of that we could do is basically, find my staff report. If we could take over, if you wanted us to take over mowing, we could do like the close parks, like Symmes, Home of the Brave, Mead, and maybe Royal, but then still contract out the other parks. Because obviously our garage is right there and we can keep our mowers right there. So it makes it easy for us. The transportation part is what gets hard.
Mhm.
When you're transporting it to Seven Gables, you're transporting it to Stonebridge, your transportation going down to camp, to Mead,
Mhm.
or I'm sorry, Hopewell. Well, we already go down to camp, but that's what takes up the time, is loading all of it, taking it to the destination, unloading it. So we can do it however you want to do it.
I think this will require more discussion. Okay? I'd like to sit and talk with Bill about what his thinking is, his plans. We're a person short right now on staff.
And no applicants.
No applicants? Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Hadn't heard that.
And how many more men would you need if we took over
Well, that's the
mowing?
question.
Yeah.
That's part of the cost benefit trade study that we were hoping for in order to make that decision. And come to us with a recommendation that we can do this, and this, and farm out this, and this. And Kim alluded to that, but we have no details on it. So I think we
What
need-
details do you need? Because
I-
he wants us to rehire the contractors. He thinks, and it's his opinion, that he would rather have the contractors doing the work so that we can do the other work. That's his recommendation. But I know that Jody had mentioned earlier in the year that she wanted us to look at how we could save.
Yep.
And the only other ways to save is just to, for us to do those parks that I mentioned before, but keep the contracts for the other parks. But then that does cut down on our time that we have available to do other things. That's the trade-off.
Okay.
So when does Bill need an answer?
He's been asking me for about a month now.
So right now, the
When do we
mowing,
normally go out for bids for mowing contracts for next year?
We start in January,
Okay.
but what the contractors are asking is they want to start filling their schedule for next year. So they want to go ahead and put us on the schedule. I mean, you guys can think about it for maybe another month,
Okay.
and then maybe let me know,
I-
like at the next meeting, if you wouldn't mind.
So are they gonna give us the same price as
They-
this year?
yeah, they are.
They'll hold their price.
Yeah. So it'd be the same price for the same scope that they're doing this year. We would just duplicate
Let's
that
bring
to
this
next year.
back next month,
Okay.
okay? In the meantime, Jody, if you and I individually want to talk to Bill or something about this, I want to. So, I don't want to cut you out, so.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, I move approval of Resolution G 2021-64, a resolution authorizing the Director of Public Works and Choice One Engineering to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission State Capital Improvement and/or local transportation improvement programs and to execute contracts as required.
Second.
Discussion?
This is just a resubmittal of the OPWC grant that we submitted for Montgomery Trace subdivision.
OPWC, State Capital, SKIP grant, capital improvement, state capital improvement.
OPWC?
Yeah, OPWC.
Mm-hmm.
And what specifically was that for?
It was to do the storm drains,
Okay.
the catch basins, the paving, and any curb work, replace the curbs.
Okay, so it's a resubmittal.
Yes.
So there's not a horrendous cost to Choice One. We just pull out this thing and send it.
Right, just update the cost estimate and resend it.
Okay, and we can do that, right? Okay, now what about the Transportation Improvement Program?
That's just that's all the money for OPWC.
Okay. There was something about, wasn't it Metro, sorta, something like that, was offering some grants to, maybe we're gonna look at a sidewalk, Red Cloud to,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was ODOT.
is that a different grant?
Yeah, that's through ODOT.
Okay, all right.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at clarification here in my mind. Okay, so if we're gonna pull out a previous submittal,
Mhm.
update it and so on, at minimal outside expense, then I can get on board with this.
Okay.
Any other discussion?
Nope.
Roll call?
Ms. Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Bryant,
Aye.
Mr. Beck.
Aye.
Okay, I move approval Resolution G 2021-65, a resolution providing for the declaration of nuisance for the property located at 9099 Fox Hunter Lane and authorizing all necessary steps for the abatement of the nuisance.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
This is the same property that we've abated in the past.
Right, and was Luann out there today?
Yes. Yep, she took a picture again, and it's in the same state.
Okay.
So it's not only grass, but it's also the landscaping around the house.
Yeah,
Right.
and then there's trash bags, like up against the house. Big pile of them.
Any other discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Bryant,
Aye.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Ms. Lees.
Aye.
I move approval of Resolution G 2021-66, a resolution authorizing Township Administrator to sign an agreement with LJB Incorporated for design engineering services for the parapet and vandal fence for the Snyder Road and Hopewell Road Bridge replacement projects in the amount of $25,000.
Second.
Discussion.
So is this the
Kim?
one that's coming in 2023?
Yeah, Snyder Road will be replaced in 2023, and Hopewell Road will be replaced in 2024.
And Snyder will have sidewalks.
No, Hopewell will have
I mean,
sidewalks.
that's what I meant, I'm sorry, I got it
Yeah.
wrong. Hopewell will have sidewalks.
Yep.
And so I wanted to incorporate the sign, Symmes Township,
You
like
can-
when you go over the highway like other places do. So
You can-
is this
Right.
included in this?
Yep, the vandal fence, I told them that that's how we wanted it, that we wanted a
To say,
a
welcome to
fence.
Symmes Township or
Right.
whatever.
I'm a little
Type.
concerned about the Snyder Road fence because we don't know, Symmes Township isn't on both sides of it. So is it all in Symmes Township or is part of it in Sycamore Township? What?
I mean, it's the line, but I couldn't get Sycamore Township to participate, so I just told the engineer to do Sims on both sides.
Good enough.
Yay.
I'm okay with that. I just
I
wanted to.
gave them many
More the
choices,
merrier.
many chances to participate,
Okay.
Yeah.
and they
All right.
declined. So I
Okay.
said, okay, we'll just do it on both sides and.
Is that what's
Claim it.
referred to as the
Then
parapet?
Yeah, the parapet is actually I don't know the right word for it, but the concrete facing on the front of the
Okay.
bridge that the vandal fence sits on. So it's
Okay.
a very, if you just do the neutral one, it's just a very kind of bland, just flat concrete surface.
Okay. So now, wait a minute. This agreement is $25,000 just for the design engineering services. This
Right.
isn't any
No, this is no
construction or anything
costs.
else.
No.
So we
So
will
we're
be
just-
responsible for the construction if we choose to go forward.
We are responsible for
For the parapet upgrade.
Okay.
So if we choose, like, I'm just using an example. So say we decide to do some kind of block facing, like a lot of those, I'm trying to think of a good example. Like when you come through Lockland, they have all those little, like it looks like bricks. So if you did something like that, we would be responsible for that upgrade
Okay.
from the basic to that brick look.
Okay.
And then typically ODOT will put up a chain link fence
With a curve.
for the,
to it,
for
with
the
a curve.
vandal. So if
Okay.
we upgrade it, we would be responsible for that upgrade.
Like that.
Meaning putting the Sims logo and everything else on.
No, if we do like
That.
obviously we would want to do some kind of,
You know, they have it, like, anything
Yeah,
that we
I've
can
seen
to
it.
identify,
Yeah.
Right.
Symmes Township is.
are you
Symmes
familiar
Township.
with the 741 bridge,
Yep.
Mason?
Here it is.
Has it had that nice black fence and then it's got the light poles on
Yep.
it?
Got it.
Okay. So we could do something like that. It doesn't have to be that particular one, but there's many, we can get pictures of and you guys can decide which one you like best. Or design something totally new.
So this is a not to exceed amount?
Yes, they have the cost estimates behind it, so they've laid it out, like what each step would cost.
For 2023 and 2024, we need the money in 2021. get
To
the-
pay the 25,000 now,
Okay,
because they would need the plans by the end of the year, ODOT does.
okay.
Okay, so then construction, we would just have to plan on 23 and then again in 24 to do the construction of it.
And so
Okay.
everybody knows Hopewell Bridge will have a sidewalk on it. I keep saying that because everybody up in that area, all they want is a sidewalk on that bridge, and it's coming.
2024.
Yep,
Right.
that's right.
Okay. All right. Any other discussion?
No.
Roll call.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
Ms. Lees?
Aye.
Mr. Bryan?
Aye. I move approval of Resolution G 2021-67, a resolution providing for the declaration of nuisance for the property located at 12090 Mason Montgomery Road and authorizing all necessary steps for the abatement of the nuisance.
Second.
Any discussion?
Already had
I heard that number earlier. Is that the front of Golden Corral
Yeah,
Buffet?
what we were talking about.
Ex-buffet?
Yep. And we just need to keep on them as well
Yeah.
about the ladder and the dumpster.
Yep.
I'm going
Okay.
to contact the
Um,
apartment's
Any other
owner.
discussion?
No.
Roll call.
Ms. Lees?
Aye.
Mr. Bryan?
Aye.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
Okay, I move approval of Resolution G 2021-68. Resolution authorizing Township Administrator to sign a community event license agreement with the Loveland School District for use of the Home of the Brave Park and Symmes Park for a 5-kilometer race fundraiser for the Loveland Boosters.
Second.
Discussion?
I think it's great. It's kind of like we let them use it for the cross-country, so.
Okay, no fireworks to start?
No, I told them they couldn't have any fireworks.
Okay, no parking? They gonna charge parking?
No, I told them they couldn't do that either.
Okay, all right.
They used to charge for. in the
Learning
parks.
curve.
I wasn't pay for that sidewalk on Hopewell, you don't charge
We can't, we're not charging. They charge the boosters and they make
Yeah.
money off of it.
We're generally work license agreement with nonprofits. This is
Yeah.
one.
I hope it's very successful.
Okay.
And they,
Lots of money.
Any other discussion?
and they provide the requisite insurance
Yep.
Yeah.
along
Yep,
with the
and that's part of
license.
the
Yes.
contract.
Right.
Got it.
Okay. Roll call.
Mr. Bryant,
Aye.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Ms. Lees.
Aye.
I move approval of Resolution G 2021-69, a resolution authorizing the reimbursement of medical premium expenses for the fiscal officer.
Second.
Okay, discussion. I think I understand what this is.
Yeah.
Joe has separate insurance relative to the rest of our employees, and it's cheaper than what we can get, and so it saves the township money.
Right.
So I'm all for it.
Yeah, and Jeff said that there is a section in the revised code that allows us to reimburse officers of the township, but the auditor's office requires a resolution.
Yep, and it's not to exceed what it costs the rest of us. So,
Right, which
yeah.
it doesn't.
The fact that it saves us money, I like you, Joe. I'd like to
Today
get
he
that
likes you.
I'd like to get the insurance for myself. It's cheaper. Okay. Anything else?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Roll call.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Ms. Lees.
Aye.
Mr. Bryant.
Aye. Okay. I move approval of the following expenditure and authorization for the township administrator to sign any necessary contracts, agreements, or paperwork. A, amend the following, none. B, expenditure of $7,200 to Stiles and Sons LLC for stormwater repairs on Inyard at Twilliger, where we previously installed sidewalks. C, expenditure $9,100 Stiles and Sons LLC for stormwater repairs to a head wall on Petrilla. D, an expenditure of $5,269.87 for backdraft OPCO LLC, emergency reporting for half the cost of the annual emergency reporting subscription fee for, I assume that's for,
Their firehouse
yeah,
software. Yep.
Loveland Symmes Fire Department.
Yep.
And E, an expenditure not to exceed $11,000 to Winelson and Grundy Plumbing to replace the hot water heater at the SSC.
Second.
Okay, discussion. Why does it cost $11,000 to replace
I wondered the
a
same thing.
100-gallon hot water tank? Come
Bill
on.
told me,
Come on.
it's ridiculous. He told me it's because it's 100 gallons and it's 199 BTUs, which is one step below a boiler.
Everything's so expensive.
But it's,
Yep.
but it's a replacement.
Yes,
means
we're-
we have
you have
that
to
now.
We have that now.
Okay.
And instead of trying to get a different tank and rework all the plumbing, it's just easier for us to put the same tank back in there, a replacement tank. Plus, we have to rebuild a thermostat that comes with the circulation pumps.
Okay. Well, we'd get a second opinion, other than Grundy.
I don't know what Bill did. That's who our plumber is, that's who we always use, and they always get the supplies from Winelson.
I use that one.
My guess is they've
You use that plumber?
shopped around.
I think he's expensive.
But Bill referred him to us, but.
I think he's expensive.
Based off that. but
No, based on a lot of other things I've seen.
Oh.
That's why I'd like to see a second opinion.
We can get a,
Well,
we can get a second
what's the
one.
consequences of getting another opinion? I mean, what's the timeliness? Would need this hot water tank now, or?
Well, it's leaking
in-
now,
on-
yes.
Yeah, it's leaking, but,
And it's rusted, and it needs to be replaced.
okay.
The problem is when they installed it, and I don't know if this was a requirement, but it's sitting right on top of the concrete pad, and there's no air passage on the bottom of it.
Well, it
So when
needs
it
to-
leaks, that's why the whole bottom is rusted out.
Is it gonna be a change in installation?
Well, that's what we're trying to find out, if we can get little feet to put on it to get it up off the concrete.
So what you're looking for here is the administrator to have authorization to sign any necessary contracts and so on, not to exceed a certain amount. So if you can get it done for less than that and so on,
Right.
okay.
I mean, we can leave Winnelson and Grundy Plumbing off there, and then it can
Mhm.
just be not to exceed repairs to the hot water heater, and then we can just get a second.
How long does it take to
Second
get a second opinion? I don't know. I don't know
don't
that you
know.
know.
Just have
I don't know, I was just
someone
told
look
last week that it was leaking,
days.
and then I said, Bill, we need to get a cost estimate because we have a meeting
Okay.
next week, and,
All right. See if you can get another one.
okay.
But we'll go ahead and vote on this not to exceed.
Just striking the company's name.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll strike Winnelson and Grundy Plumbing.
Mhm.
Okay, you still have the authorization. If we approve this, you still have the authorization to sign any necessary contracts and so on.
Okay.
Okay? Any other discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Lees?
Aye.
Mr. Bryan?
Aye.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
Okay. I move that we adjourn into executive session under Ohio Revised Code Section 121.22G1 to consider the compensation and employment of a public employee or official.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Bryan?
Aye.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
Ms. Lees?